Hello there everyone, this is Mark 3 and welcome back to a bit more Factorio Space Age. Where I admit I was slightly delayed getting the last episode out, so there has been a bit of playtime since then. All focused on what I said at the end of last time, of expanding my dominion. But also, kind of focused on a single upgrade I decided I wanted to put in off camera because I knew it would take a big old chunk of time, and so much of a chunk of time that in fact it is still very much in progress, and the bots are complaining non-stop about it. They're saying vague noises about workers' rights or unions or silly things that the bots shouldn't care about at all. I mean, listen to them just like beeping and whining all the time. I didn't even know they could unionize. They probably will. Anyway, yeah, I've overhauled the smeltery stacks. It's still a work in progress. There's still entire sets still to go in. They are kind of future-proof now, so when I hit full belt production, like tier 4 belts, they'll be fine. They are rigged for beacons, though, which I'd forgotten about. But then again, I've never actually... In Factorio, I have never actually placed a beacon. Like, never placed a beacon. Not once. I've never hit the point where I've started building them. So, yeah. That's a strange thing, isn't it? Just those entire stacks of things going through. But yeah. These guys are all upgraded to furnaces, and with them I have installed quality modules. I mean, only tier 1s, but it's like a percentage of my production of copper, iron, and steel is getting quality, as you saw there, and so it's rolling through into temporary storage. And we're actually building up quite a bit, so we do need to start doing some stuff with these. My plan currently is I'm going to turn these into mining machines and things. Maybe something else. Also, a better tank, better equipment modules, you know, minor things like that. But it's still kind of work in progress, so right now quality is still being dumped into storage, ready for use, because I've deliberately not done that. Though zoom out, we can start to see the scale of things. Yep, the rail network is operating fully. The factory must grow, and it has indeed grown. As we zoom out further and further, we start to see there are rail lines going all over the place. This is the other reason why I've just been playing forward a bit on during idling time. It's like, yeah, this is the area I've kind of carved out for myself. There's only one last little bit left, which is probably the biggest base I'm going to take on directly in this, but it's to close the last gap in the wall. And then my entire base will actually be surrounded. Though admittedly, these walls, they aren't rigged with ammunition and fuel yet. They are rigged to accept such supplies, but the munition plant I mentioned last time has not been built, just because I knew that would be a thing that would happen during this video, so I've held off, I've just kept on going. The train is sitting there, has been full of light oil for the flamethrowers for a very long time, but I've not dispatched it anywhere, because it's missing one of its key stops, the stop where it picks up ammo. You know, ammo is vaguely important. That means these trains haven't anything to do either, but you know, we've also got oil extraction going on down here. Just some upgrades in the area. I've not paved under the walls yet. That's a plan. But I also, this episode, I plan to get uranium extraction started as well, because, well, we need to get the rare uranium isotope processed through the centrifuge to, you know, get better production of that going, but I've just not set it up yet. Don't get me wrong, we've had a train tanker full of sulfuric acid just sitting here for hours and hours and hours on end. I'm sure that's done no damage to the actual storage tanks at all, but yeah, it's just been sitting there doing nothing. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? Because first, it's night time. I spent so long waffling that night has hit. Yeah, I've been doing all this work with the basic tank. All the same basic mods, just like nothing upgraded, as I said. No, not taken advantage of my quality abilities yet. But now I've got this big biter base over here to deal with to close this last line section. And so it is time for combat. But while we wait for light, let's actually go for the comment. Let's go for the comment. Yeah. Happy Afer had a large comment. Also, Merry Christmas. Slightly late by the time this video goes out, but yeah, Merry Christmas one and all. I hope your Christmas has been merry and bright, or at the very least restful. Mine's been restful, but that's the way I like it. Anyway, comment. You couldn't find the updated mod? That's very strange. I'm using it at the moment. And after looking for vehicles, all I can find is the mod in question. It has been updated to Factorio 2.0 for over 2 months. Yeah, the thing is, I searched through the in-game search function, and then I searched through the Steam Workshop page, and then I searched through the Factorio homepage mod thing as well, and it kept coming up saying version 1.7. I don't know why. I have no idea why. But after looking at, I think I said last time, I decided, you know, I'm just going to keep on going with unmodded for this run. And I'm sad to say, apart from a few squashed power pylons, I've not actually had any major crashes, so I am sorry to disappoint you. I've kind of kept my vehicle under control. Just a bit. Continuing. A 9-hour slog to save your Navis space, followed by a disappointment of having the whole reason for the trip being unavailable to build. Sounds like an awful experience. Yeah, I mean, my ship being battered to pieces didn't help the situation. But that was my first experience with spaceflight in Space Age. It was forming, yeah. Do you think all planets except Quill have all the resources to build a base to get back? Well, the problem was actually expanding my ship to the point where I could get back, actually. I'm not sure I mentioned this last time, as I go in. Because my ship was being battered, I actually did try it to launch, like, get the ship back together enough where it could actually take flight, and then, like, you know, I don't want to be here, let's go home. Go away. But then the ship died several times as I increased the state of repair and rearming. But it was being battered so hard that it was a struggle just to get the thing fixed up enough to make it back. So that was part of why I was a slog as well. It's like I couldn't fix. Oh jeez, this isn't going well. Look at how many of them are. Full disclosure, by the way, I've had a bunch of times where my tank has almost been destroyed during this, but it's not actually been killed. This is another one where it's been very close to getting killed, but not quite. There's also been some times where I've had to stop just because my tank's battery ran out. And so it's, you know, I was having trouble there as well, so, you know, stop. Oh, it used me as a brake. Thank you very much, tank, very much. But yeah, my first ship just had no survivability. When we get into space later in this episode, I'll actually go to the other save and I'll show you what it was like when I finally sent it back. It's actually had decent ammo production compared to what Happy Afer mentions later in his comment, but it's like, it had no defenses, and power was a slight issue, and it's like, you know, it was my first attempt. It was just not good. Anyway, back to the comment. Right. If I may make some suggestions for spaceships for the first 3 planets, build a looping belt all around your ship, including the back part, and have a wall 3 or 4 gun turrets in between the asteroid gliders. That's kind of what I wound up going with, actually, on later design, which I'll also show you in a bit. Having the looping belt thing. That should get you maximum protection while also getting enough resources to sustain your ammo production. I suggest having 3 assemblers for ammo production with modules. Disclosure, I didn't realise how to put out modules in the spaceship, because I thought you needed a drone to put them out. I looked it up since then, but I've not actually installed modules on the ship yet, as I creep closer towards this base. Ugh. So yeah, I do plan to module it up properly before going this time, because well, especially power-saving modules on these ships, especially solar-powered ships. Yeah, solar-powered ships don't really have much energy to spare. As for the belt that delivers the asteroid chunks, which should also be a looping belt, I strongly suggest having a setup to get rid of excess chunks of one kind, since you would definitely be flooded with more chunks of one kind than you can handle thanks to the different asteroid ratios. Again, I actually realised that and did that on my follow-up design. In fact, even the initial design had a way to get rid of spare chunks, because I'd noticed that problem just sitting in orbits, figuring out how the basic ship stuff worked, before I even went on my first very profitable, not at all disastrous flight. Let's get rid of some stuff. Good. Yes, I'm pulling a lot of enemies again, but I am damaging the base, which is what I want to be doing. There we go. But yeah, in fact, something I've done, which I plan to do for this time as well, is I actually combined the ammo supply belt with the asteroid circulation belt, because it's like very convenient to have a single belt doing all of that. Admittedly, it means I've got half a belt dedicated to each purpose, but you know, can't have everything, right? Oh, that. I seem to have a problem whenever these guys get grouped up on me. But I don't like to wander close enough for the flamethrowers to be doing the thing. At least I have plenty of ammo. So there is that. And yeah, I'll actually go and let that bot repair me. Come on, buddy. I'll let you do your job. Thank you. So yeah, I like to combine it. It's like I have asteroid circling on a single thing on the inside of the belt, and the outer line outside of the belt actually carries the ammo supplies. Does a nice dual purpose. Though of course, as I said, half a belt supply either way. Fine for the asteroids. Turrets, well, often the problem is having enough spare ammo to load onto the belt to keep it fully supplied when the guns are all in action. But you know, I actually plan to do that better this time around as well. Continuing the comments, Happy for provided a lot of advice to this one. A new quality mechanic is quite nice, though it's a bit of a hassle to sort and filter the stuff and fill your storage inventory fast. Oh yes, especially plates. I actually have another horror story here, which was my first attempt to go with the quality mechanic. I thought it'd be a bright idea to put it on the ore miners. I think I mentioned this in passing in a previous episode. But it's like, I put it on the ore miners, and then I had to filter the train stations to actually sort that out into its own separate furnace stack, because otherwise it just clogged up all of the ore feeds. My factory in the test game ground to a halt numerous times just because I didn't have that sorted out. Yeah, let's get rid of some of these guys now. There we go. Yeah, as soon as I drive into the big patches of stuff, I still have a bad habit of not watching where I'm driving when there's a lot of gunk on the floor. But honestly, going back and forth like this, I don't like doing that as well. I do prefer to be able to circle. I find it a lot more effective. Good, good. We've crushed it. Okay. That just leaves actually dealing with the enemies left that I'm pulling along. So yeah, I decided, you know what, I put the quality things on the ore mines. Yeah, it did okay, but it meant I had an absolute load of iron and copper sheets, like massive excess, far beyond even what this base is currently doing with the quality systems inside the smelters, because ore mines, remember, they can have more stuff fitted to them. Yeah, they get 3 modules versus 2 in the smelters. So I had way too much stuff there, and I was just like trying to grind up to get like epic and legendary gear, because I hadn't realised I actually required tech unlocks to get those two. So, yeah. Another slight failing on my part, though nothing as bad as the 9-hour horror story. You know, that was... Yeah, it's not as bad as that, but it was definitely a thing. But now they've got that out here, the bots can start to create the last sections of the wall, and then this base will be quote-unquote secure, apart from the fact it has no ammunition for the wall. Yeah, no, can't have everything, can we? Just slot that one in there. That is actually almost perfect. There we go. Right, continuing on. Yes, there is still comment. Oh, if you go to Volcanus, take a couple of stacks of uranium cannon shells and a rare tank with you. That tank will easily deal with the small worms. I had a rare tank. I didn't take it with me into orbit because I was an idiot. I didn't know about the worms at that point. But I also didn't have uranium processing going on either. That's something I actually managed to set up during my hours of exile on Novice. Oh look, they've already tried to expand into the area I've just literally just cleared. Yeah, that's why I missed a base. I probably missed a base. Come on. The time when the machine gun can deal with these is long past. But the worms themselves, yeah. The base is just too tough for my current munitions. Even with all my upgrades, too tough. Ugh. Anyway. So I just finish this. A little bit of trimming around the end so that I don't needlessly build stuff. Okay, you're okay. I just want to get some wall at the end here. Like that. I like to put in a bit of landfill as well. First off, so I don't have like individual little holes that can trip me up in general. But also, I try to make it so that there's a little bit in front of the wall to lure enemies in. It's like, hey, come this way, guys. There aren't any mines here. Not at all. I've not really seen the mines in action, though, because, you know, I've not actually needed them much. So, yeah. Anyway, taking some depleted uranium tank shells and things sounds like a really good idea if I go to Volcanus first. But I kind of want to get the salvage tech first off. Because, you know, salvage tech, it'll give me something to do with some of the spare materials. It'll let me actually start to bleed off some resources where I absolutely have to as well. That's one of the things. It's like, that's your delete option for some stuff, or your ability to reclaim materials from things you don't need anymore. Like, for example, I have a bunch of tier 1 mining machines which I don't really going to require for much longer. The bot's just flying up there and just getting a bit confused. Don't worry, guys, you'll be fine. Anyway, sorry, let's continue. There was another bit on that comment with Volcanus. Alternative is building a gun wall filled with yellow ammo. If you use enough of them, they can kill the worm, but quite a few will be destroyed, and that's a waste of resources. Not that getting resources is an issue on Volcanus. This is quite true. Volcanus is another reason why I wanted to restart the run and, you know, actually do better. Because my approach to Volcanus was about as haphazard as everything else, because, you know, lack of materials, lack of supplies, things back home were not running very well at all, to the point where it's just like, I was just like bodging things together just to experiment and see what I could find. But I was spending a long time on each planet just getting basic production set up so that things could start expanding, like, you know, assemblers and power systems, inserters, all the basic stuff. I was spending far too long just getting local production started because I just wasn't supplying myself properly. Heck, I even got a little cargo shuttle going around eventually, and it was one of the designs I made space-wise, but it's like, you know, what can you do? What can you do? Okay. I thought I'd avoid crushing something, but then I found the light. I Mark 3 found the light, yeah. Okay. You can stay there. You have suffered long and hard. But you have done me a service. You managed to clear a gigantic area, and I thank you. You are a tank. Goodbye. I'm just going to park myself next to the ship because there's one last little bit of the comments to go. Don't worry, this is the last bit. The big miners you get there are also very nice. I didn't actually manage to make one of them. I didn't manage to get the materials, so I've not actually tried one of them. Nearly did, but then it's like, you know what? I want to do this properly. Start again. So I stopped short of actually finishing construction. Not only do they reduce ore field consumption, they also have a mining area large enough to fit beacons in between. Ooh, okay, that sounds like it might be nice. Once you have a belt stacking unlocked, they do that automatically. Belt stacking? Belt stacking. Ah, that means my smeltery stacks will need to be doubled. Dang it. But, yeah, that increasing the density of the belts, yeah, that sounds actually very useful. I like that. I'm not near that yet. I need 4 science pack productions, 2 of which I'm actually going to get up today. Maybe even 3, well, I'll probably get 3 of them up today, but the 4th one is the one that I've never done, which is spoils in an hour. That's another reason I might want recycling, actually, as a thing to use to get rid of the rotted food. That's probably a good idea. I'm going to have to rig the belt systems and things to take that into account, actually. Actually, that's not too bad. That's not bad. The fact it turns into that means I can actually set filters on the inserters to grab those and sort them out. Anyway. A high-quality big mining drill setup with high-quality beacons and high-quality Tier 3 modules can make any ore patch last till the end of the playthrough. They can be ridiculously powerful. Duly noted. Thank you. Thank you, Afa. That's another thing I was actually doing. The stone is gone. The copper is gone that was in the middle of here. I was actually putting speed modules into the mines to get rid of the last of my initial deposits because they are very much in the way of where I was trying to build stuff. And then I went from there, just getting it sorted out. But yeah, anyway. Big detailed comment. Thank you very much. It's given me some pointers and some suggestions. But now it is time for me to do things on my end. I think quality production first, so that we can try to preserve our fields a little bit. I think I'm planning to use logistics supply for these guys. So yeah, I'm gonna logistics supply these guys because well, let's be honest, my logistics bots aren't doing anything. They're not doing a single thing. So that'll be good for them to actually have something to do. And then munitions plant, and while I'm also doing this science. So let's get to doing the thingies, because we also want to get to space this episode as well. Space beckons. Space has been on hold for over 60 hours at this point. This playthrough is in its 61st hour or thereabouts. I told you I was busy clearing the entire area I've staked a claim on. That's what I meant when I said I've not really seen the landmines in action. They're obviously doing something, but the area got attacked and then the lasers fended them off without any further assistance. I've just realised I've not actually built a supply station for this side yet. Whoops. Ah well. Yeah, I kind of realised, I said I was going to let logistics bots do all the processing stuff, get the smart quality things. Sorry, smart quality. Yeah, getting quality stuff going, but it's I might actually need to just set up a little base to operate that by itself. So in the meantime, I do something else to show you, which is, look at this, purple. I have purple. Yes. I've got 2 setups here because I want 1 every 2 seconds. Sorry, no, 1 every half seconds. That's 2 per second, just like the rest of it, at base production speeds. But thing is, that results in 21 for a 3 per second, because it's one of those ones that makes 3 every time it cycles, so yeah. So create enough of a blueprint that it works for 1 per second, and then just double it. So there we go. Stone feeds through here. Jolly good. Iron and steel. Iron and steel go into both the rail setup and the furnace setup, producing enough furnaces to meet the production requirements. Yep. The furnaces require stone brick, so that comes in also on its own feed, because don't need it for anything else in here at the moment. So in that comes. And then red and green, needed for, well, the red's for the furnaces, but also red and green for the productivity modules, which will then also go ahead and feed up into a bank of 7 science assemblers, making good old purple science. Yes, very tasty. But there you go. Production science is now starting to roll. And of course, this will share a belt with yellow science. Just realized I clicked the wrong thing on my phone. Nope, my phone is counting down. Excellent. It's going to share a belt with yellow, which is I'm going to put in over here. I almost said bodging over here, but no, this is going to be full bore production. Thank you oh so very much. And that'll just connect. Let's make it there. Sure. I'll do it. But yeah. Purple science, production science, is going to be added to the stack. We've already got the belt laying, of course, and going all the way over here, which I had queued to upgrade, but then didn't realise I hadn't not got construction over it, so I've put in a couple of extra ports to cover it properly. I'm thinking of expanding this, to be honest, but purple science. Purple science. What's purple science given us? Oh, we've actually got access to elevated rails. That's good. I've almost been hit by trains a couple of times, to be honest. Oh, it does give us access to the beacons, actually. The fiendish thingies I mentioned before that I've never built. Potential. Better stacks. Blue belts. Ooh, it's been ages since I made a blue belt. Better assemblers as well. I can actually make those without any real trouble. Blue belts are the same. In fact, I've got machinery already in place to create blue belts. It just requires the actual technology to do it. And then better land speed, of course, as well. But yeah, then we got into yellow stuff, like bot speed. Bot speed in particular, I want, but we don't have that yet. I'll also pick up belt immunity equipment too, because, why not? Rocketry, I've never actually played with a rocket launcher either, but exoskeletal enhancement's probably a good idea. I'll be needing these for when I go to Novus, so I can queue that. I've been told that it's been whispered to me by Happy Afer in the comments, and just like general background knowledge of the game, that beacons are good? Question mark. Again, don't know, but I'll queue it. Just let me know. I won't build in this time though. Just let me know how you think I should be going about that though, because I don't know. Better braking because high-speed trains. Belt production, I'll actually get that up first. And yeah, just getting some stuff going now that I've actually got purple science. In fact, I'm getting too much stuff because, yeah. But that's going to be firing up in just a moment as soon as this belt goes in. Yeah, just gotta wait for the last bits. And then yellow. Anyway, I was saying I'm making noises about the quality thing. Logistics box, but I can't quite do it yet. Yeah, that's because I'm still missing some chest types, in all honesty. What I need is the chests for requester chests, specifically, because you used to be able to get those very easily in base game, but in space game we require we require white science for this one. I can actually make my starter pack, which will unlock ship parts. Let's queue that. It's going to take quite a while, though. I've got time. Now, actually getting space platform foundation production up would be a very good idea, but I want to get the space stuff in the same localized area so that that can just like be able to rapidly make space parts as and when needed. Novus is going to be my shipyard after all, or a safe place where I can build ships. Yeah, there it goes. Already 60% of the way through. Very nice. I don't actually have the chests in here. Let me fix that real quick. There it is. Blue belts. All it needs is that and gears. Okay. I mean, remember, I set this up back like easily like 20, 30 hours ago at this point when I've set this particular line up. So yeah, makes sense that I've kind of forgotten a little bit what I've done here. But this will do the trick. Install that, and that. And that'll do it. Blue belts are starting to roll out. Also worth noting, I've got tons of quality gears. It's just like tons of quality metal plates. I don't really have much working with them at the moment. There's goes another thing I'm hoping to do with the uranium processing stuff eventually. The steam engine's struggling. I've expanded the area with solar collectors, as you can see. But even so, well, it's not doing that great. There should be more than that. Well, 62 megawatts of extra power coming through that. Right now, because the smelteries are all firing up, that's 30 straight there. And then there's active construction going on in some places, so Roboport's taking another 20. And the miners, of course, are doing their own thing at 20 megawatts too, so it's just like... there's a lot of stuff going on. My power grid is not handling things too well. So the sooner I get a big power source, the better, honestly. And it's looking like that's going to be nuclear power. Because solar, well, I've not been able to expand it anything like enough, honestly. I need a much denser power solution. Anyway, let's get this set up and actually get it going, at the very least. Because I do want to get this sorted. Kinda. Okay. Queued up all pump jacks being upgraded to the Tier 2 version. Well, the Tier 2 version, the second quality version. Honestly, pump jacks, given that oil is a constantly useful resource and it's also eternally produced, maybe... I also don't need as many machines, that's the thing as well. So maybe I should upgrade all my pump jacks to the next tier? Like to blue tier? Might be worth doing. Don't know. And apparently I forgot to install productivity modules down here. Whoops. It's not like I'm missing any, I've got plenty back at base. But I can also start to take my main iron sources and things out of the base tier miners and into tier 1. So there's another reason for me wanting to go to Novice first, get the recycling tech so I can actually process the spare miners I'm not going to be requiring very soon. So, you know, getting that stuff done. Yeah, it's still going. It's now it's run out of gears. There's a lot of spare gears, it's just that I have to hand feed these at the moment. Hence why I want to get to science. Yes. I want to get white science. Well, there we go, that's beacons. Yep. We have not got... what do I need for that? Space Platform Starter Pack. I've crafted it. I guess it's because I've not... I need to actually launch it. I see. Well, for that we need a launch platform, which I don't actually quite have yet. Hang on. I think I might have some regrets going on. I did push out this side here to clear out this entire area. The result of all my expansion, as you can probably see, is my base is for the most part actually containing my pollution cloud, with the exception of this northwestern lake. Biters keep expanding into this area. I've cleared out the nests nearby several times, but they keep growing into this area and then getting annoyed by the pollution, and so they're attacking this wall section up here on a regular basis at this point. Honestly, the smart idea would be claim this section here. I left it alone because there's only like a copper deposit in it, so that's all I would really be interested in. But the resources I would save by claiming up to this area here, just for not having to repair or defend myself, would probably be worth it. Or if I just push a bit further to here, then I can go across here, and then I can cross here, and I'd have more uranium and stuff like that as well, but it's like, you know... Then other points are like, how much is too much? I mean, I didn't expand down here because I've got good amounts of deposit in my base at the moment, and so I didn't want to like get this massive wide open area claimed in. But this area's got a lake, so I've not really got much of an excuse except being lazy. Anyway, that's been installed now, so this should be good to go. If I go to my handy little train down here, you are... I'm going to program you slightly differently because you are going to be roving a little bit. You are going to be hydrochlorics out of the carbon. Wait until full cargo. Then you will try to find a stop to go to. In this case, it'll be hydrochloric into this. I've not put a 1 or anything onto this, like Station 1, Alpha 1, because I've realised that you can actually set stops to have a priority thing. So higher priority stations get served faster, like first, because when you copy and paste a station, it copies the name. So my thought on that is, since, again, this is something I've not actually done before, I was always individually naming my stops before. It's like, if I have this generically named, then it should like randomly go around to serve. So I'll set this one to empty count, or time, no, not that one, or time past, I don't know, like 5 minutes? Yeah, so this will go to a station and it'll empty its cargo, or it'll wait until it's been 5 minutes have passed. If it's just me sitting at the station is not really doing anything, and then it'll actually go somewhere else, and then I'll tell it. Well, actually, there's only one station being set up for that right now, so just that one. But I'm thinking if I have that 2 entries, like identical, so it'll go there, it'll leave and try to find a different one to go to. If I go to the same one afterwards, I don't know, but maybe just go pick back more stuff and then go out again, maybe. But anyway, off you go. Immediately going. It's only a little 2-car one as well, so you know this one's not holding a massive amount of it. It's not a full-length train or anything, but it's already booking it because it's got rocket fuel. It's got all sorts of stuff here. But with that, ta-da! We have uranium processing unlocked. So we have access to the centrifuge. We have access to the uranium technologies and all that fun stuff. Unfortunately, we need space science actually to get to this, so yeah. I need to get that launch sorted out. But hey, we're actually producing uranium. And this was already like tiered, the second quality ones as well, so it's depleting at 83% too. And it's all production model as well to boost output. It's still, yeah, my power grid is doing fun things, as you can see. Yeah, you can see the massive dips and troughs in it. That's solar coming in and out. And then because the power production isn't keeping up. Everything else is just like wavering all over the darn place. Interesting to check though, to see how badly my system is actually doing overall. Here we go. That's the first time I've seen the mines at work. Let's give them a few more to wander through. I'm sure that'll be fine, right? Oh, something got destroyed. Oh, there's a hit down here. One drawback is, though, don't these require coal? They need explosives, which, yeah, requires coal. So, this is a finite thing, landmines, but they do seem to do a very good job, actually. Well, interesting to look at. Okay. Anyway, back to getting something slightly more important going. Yeah, science. Ah, that's something I didn't... Attack down here resulted in bots flying outside the perimeter wall, resulting in bots getting shot down. I forgot to take that into account, honestly. And now we have just had the longest jump cut in the series so far. Minutes? Nah, small potatoes. Hours? No. No. Days? Yeah, you're in the right ballpark there. Yeah. This is several days after the last one, after the last bit. And yeah, the most I've ever gone is like an overnight halt between bits on a single episode. For this was like several days later because like, you know, started building projects and things. So what can you do? Ooh, not a lot. Anyway, we're going to follow this train of interest here. Why? It's full of uranium ore. Lovely stuff. Mine made the mistake of actually turning this into a building project, and I was just plucking away at it. No, you want to be going to that one. Thank you. I've just been plucking away at it during idle time as well, and it's just like, yeah, I've got some things built as this train goes rocketing away across the factory. Where is it going? It's going to one of the new construction areas that have been put up literally for the time of this episode. Oops, there's some save. Okay, uranium ore. Into this. Ta-da! The first of the two facilities. This is the nuclear processing facility. It handles fuel rods, it handles all uranium ore shipments and things like that. And for some reason... you saw nothing. You saw nothing. Why did I do that? Of all things, why have I done that? Ugh. Okay. Anyway, not much to say here. This bank is doing processing. There's actually space to install a second row here for another set. So this can chew through quite a bit of uranium ore in short order. Then, of course, we've got priority mergers and splitters going on over here. This area is currently unconfigured because this area is actually going to be where we're going to be doing the Corax processing when we've got that technology. Yeah, that's in the pipeline. Also, so there we got fuel rods and things. Fuel rod reprocessing, that's actually handled up here, which then has priority shunts back down into this entire section here to unify the flows. This will reprocess any fuel rods, which moves on to this section up here, where the iron's flowing in, and this section is for fuel rod production. I have not actually started building the pieces for them, but I've also got the technology for nuclear reactors. God save us all. Ugh. Yeah, it's a kind of a thing, but... well, solar is a bit of a limited power source, honestly. So, you know, let's follow you. solar is a bit of a limited thing, especially on spacecraft, so no need a better power source. My base needs a power source flat out, so we're starting with that. But things like I mentioned, I've never put down beacons before. I've never built a nuclear reactor before either, so this will be my first time doing that, and I'll set that aside for the next episode probably. Anyway, this train is picking up all uranium products. This will be my uranium shipment train. It comes over here to a new construction area, which is the long-rumoured munitions plant. Yeah, sadly we didn't have any uranium U-235, I think it is. Is it? Sorry, 238. 35 is the good one. No, 35 was waiting to go because it's only just started to fill up down there. But when this gets filled with uranium, it will do nothing because I've not installed the offloading section yet. Bother. Give me a second, please. I guess this is now as good a time as any to mention it. During the interim, I found it necessary to actually start allowing fuel delivery to get the flamethrowers operational on the walls, because honestly the biters were getting a bit nibbly. They were starting to break through some of the walls in places, and the lasers alone were struggling to hold them off. So the flamethrowers have been very, very necessary to hold them off. Also, I made the unpleasant discovery of the existence of behemoth biters. I didn't know about those before. At least if I did know about them, it was like very barely. But yeah, behemoths are a thing. I'm actually surprised at that, but lasers weren't able to do much about it. Also, I'm not too sure about this. Can mines damage my own stuff? Maybe, maybe not. I do not know, but I've got a blast. They say I've got a blast radius 6. The walls and turrets are well within that blast radius, so I hope they don't break my stuff. But again, I have no idea. So, I've also been kind of kicking myself about not grabbing this expansion over here because I have bots flying across these corners sometimes, and they are getting nibbled very thoroughly. So they keep dying. Also, bots are getting killed for going across this stretch here because this base has resituated itself. While there's no base here, they were fine. But when a base got here, they started to have problems. So maybe a deliberate land bridge to create a new wall segment here would be best for protecting everything. But it's very rare for bots to go back and forth across here. Also, I mentioned earlier in the video that I had all these walls set to the same name, thinking it would automatically just go random between them all. Sadly not. So I've had to name them, like this is Southeast 3, this is Southeast 2, this is West, all that stuff. And so the train ordering has become a lot more cluttered with sheer number of stations, but that's happening anyway with the sheer number of stops. You can tell by some of these things with how they're labelled up as well. So, yeah, that's going on. I think we have got the flow-through capacity to mount a second set of centrifuges processing ore, I believe. Yeah, you're not doing too badly, are you? Not too badly at all. And right now we're front-loading the production for fuel rods. Of course, we don't have the 235 just yet. We've only got one piece so far. But that is coming. Slowly but surely that is coming. It's being low balanced and then split off over here. So, that's that. A quick look around here, by the way. This is primed. It's producing flamethrower fuel already. It's producing mines all down here to ready supply for the network as well. And then I've also made the leap to depleted uranium munitions for guns and cannons. The guns are going to be grabbed by the munition train when it pops through. Oh, speaking of the devil, here it comes now. A couple of tankers of light oil. It's carrying it's actually going to be configured for like outpost founding supplies and stuff. It's carrying mines, it's going to carry ammo, carrying turrets and belts and stuff like that. So, you know, it's going to be carrying a lot of stuff, this guy. It's more of a maintenance train for anywhere that needs regular resupply. But it's going to be ferrying around depleted uranium magazine rounds, and hopefully I plan to give this thing artillery rounds when I research that as well, and add those to the walls. And you saw nothing. You saw nothing. I'm not having trouble. Not at all. Not at all. Speaking of not at all, Let's visit my person. We've got another task today. As I wander... Are we clear? I think we're clear. Yep. Wander over here to the new westward point in the main factory line, where we are producing lightweight frames. We are producing starter packs, where we're producing spaceship hulls. Can you smell what I'm putting down? Can you see what I'm cooking? Yes, as we head up here and into our new launch area. Yes. All set up and ready. It just needs to be fed. Also, you saw nothing again just there, so, you know. Yeah, that'll sort itself out. Okay, there we go. That's why I like to watch when I get the flow phone just to see. So, yeah, that'll do just fine, yeah. Oh my, what's this? It's almost like I planned this. A behemoth rises from the depths. Yes, the first shuttle completed in this particular playthrough. There we go. And you probably noticed, because I came up here with Alt pressed by accident, I was planning not to, this shuttle has already got a payload in it, in the form of that first space platform starter pack I built. So, we are ready to get the coveted space science. Oh yes. Build a new space platform, please. I want you to create. Space Science Station. Yeah, very, very original name, that, yeah. Okay. And there we go. My first rocket. Not my first rocket overall, because remember, I had the whole story last time. Like, I went to space. I had all this trial and tribulations and things. So I have been playing a lot of rockets. I don't know how many rockets I've launched around, but that was my first one in this game, as you can see, because the achievements and the technologies just popped. So now I should be able to make the parts I need, which are electric motors, processors, steel pipes. Yeah, I can make all that stuff to get things sorted out and actually get our first station. And because we got all this out automatic, and all this is within the logistics network as well, these are all like automatic supply points for firing rockets up to the space. Yeah. And in fact, I should rig these guys with productivity modules just to make them more efficient. Well, to be honest, in my testing game, I just had it speed modules because I literally only had like one silo, and it was like it took forever every time. So, you know, there's also the fact you can have like two rockets primed and ready to go at once in that thing. Oh, that's a train that just went past. Have I actually managed to feed uranium yet? Nope, that's the munition train coming through. Oh no, that's the that's one of the supply trains to the munitions plant. I've actually co-opted it for supplying iron to this area, so it comes through every so often. But yeah, you are not getting any 238 yet. I think because it's just taking time to process. I need to expand this. I need to get this thing firing on all cylinders. If you can't tell from the dimmed lights, there's another brownout kind of going on. 158 megawatts out of over 500 plus. This is why we need more power. Something better, because the solar's just not been keeping pace. Still no 238, but again, we're almost done front loading this area, so this is going to front load into fuel production as a priority. I could have just avoided doing that and just sent it off to the other side instead, but I haven't prioritized it that way. Oops, come on. There we go. And once you get up here, it's prioritizing to go into any kind of outflow that's needed, and then it goes just into a dumping stack of storages. So, you know, I'm under no illusions. We're going to have a lot of spare going until we get the enrichment process fully taking over, most likely, and that is going to be absorbed by this. But also that's the backup, because before that, it's going to be absorbed by, you know, ammunition production. The walls have no ammo in their ballistic weaponry. So hopefully that's going to change as the bots swarm this area. Oh yeah, now daytime's in full swing. This is going a bit more reasonably, but not massively so. We're still struggling a bit. That's why I want nuclear power. I want to stop this from happening and have my base actually fully functional. Yeah, so again, well, I know some of this because the splitters have big blasts on their corrosive projectile spit, but I don't know if the mines are doing damage to me. I do want an answer. And yeah, there's a couple of bots just getting randomly swatted out the air by the... Yeah. I told you that was happening. Do we actually have some ammo? We actually have some ammo. Ooh, look at that. Uranium tank shells have actually started to roll off the line a little bit. No uranium bullets yet, really. Well, actually, no, say that. There's a couple coming down the line now. But, yeah. Look at that. 1 into 3 into 10 is the production ratio on these guys. Well, these guys are actually pretty similar to the circuit production ratio. 2 normals ones into 3 depleted uranium versions. I'm making explosive for completeness, by the by. I have never used it, so again, I don't know how good it is. But I'm making it. Where are my nuclear mines, though? That's what I want to know. Also, apparently I've made a slight mistake on my splitting. I have, apparently. I'm not splitting. Whoops. That's fine. That's fine. You saw nothing. Welcome to the void. Yeah, this is the theme that greets us whenever we have a new science. Well, new spacecraft in general. Starts as a space platform hub with a little bit of hull around it, and that's it. If we lose this hub, we lose the ship. If we are actually riding in a ship, we sit in the hub, and so that's again, if we lose that, we die. But that's basically the core section of the spacecraft. Now, how does this work? How do I do it? I've got all those rockets down on the planet set to auto-deliver, and they can deliver up into orbit over here. And you can also set up like logistic groups on these, so there's automatically try to deliver or request things. And there's also a custom construction, which you can turn off if you want to muck around with the blueprint for a bit first. Or you can just leave on, it'll go as it goes. But be aware, it does call up an entire rocket payload of individual materials. So you get a lot of spare stuff sitting in your cargo's inventory. It doesn't actually take mass into account, I don't believe, on the cargo carried by a ship. Its mass is set by the actual structure of the ship itself. So having extras in your cargo hold doesn't really matter too much. But it is worth bearing in mind there's a limited number of slots, so this can be expanded. For now, though, you see we start with 10 of these. And I think I will reset... Let's put you... You are now my space platforms. Yep. And if I just go ahead and do it like that, all fine. As soon as I connect to that, it builds out because it had some in stock. Now it's short. It knows it's using those for construction, but it's not requested any because it knows it doesn't need any more than it's already got. But if I tell it to do 4, it deals the 2, then it waits, and if we go down here, we should find one of our silos is prepping for launch. Here comes the bots now. Which one are you going to? You going to this one at the end here? Well, these guys are. Looks like they're going to recharge, but they're being lazy. But yeah, see, requested requested 50, even though it only wants 2. So as I said, it does do that. Because these rockets only deliver 1 ton of payload at a time, and that's their actual weight limit on them. But there we go, it fills up, ready to launch. Ta-da! Off it goes. Because of actual length of episode and things, I was planning to have a ship together initially, like at the end of this particular episode. Here comes the other one because there was already enough parts progress stored for another ship, so another one's immediately just rising into position and ready to go. So this entire silo has like 16 rockets ready to fly. If we go up here, pod just arrived, and there we go. But I can go ahead and just cancel these, and it doesn't actually delete anything, it just all goes straight back into the cargo, so it doesn't really care if I'm knocking around too much. It doesn't matter, just scrap it back and it'll tend to stash everything that it can. The exception being like inventory items, some of that stuff it won't, but some of that it will, honestly. It depends on what's being treated, I guess. So you can like randomly have like asteroid chunks and things inside the actual space core. I've had like a whole bunch of asteroids stuck in one of mine at one point, but you know. Anyway, I'll get this built out to be a science ship, which is honestly not going to be too bad at all. All we need to do is like place a few bits. It's like when you placing with landfill. If you hold shift, you can place it, and it'll sort out the underlying structure, because the underlying structure in this case is platform. I will tell you to grab a meteor grabber. This has a long metallic tentacle which goes out and grabs loose ore chunks. Novice orbit has only got these little resource chunks. They don't do any damage, they're not going very fast, they're not very big. They are just doing their own thing. And so I'm going to use only basic stuff here, so like first tier, absolute bog standard common stuff, because honestly that's the cheapest things to use by far. Though that said, my base is suffering from a massive glut of second and third quality copper in particular, also some iron and other things. Materials really backing up because I'm just not using them for anything, you know? It's getting to the point where I'm thinking of taking all the quality systems out of my furnaces again, and that's a pain because I don't know how to do that automatically, I only know how to do it manually. So it's just like, what can you do? There are a couple of rockets already en route. Yep, we just missed another landing there. But we're waiting on the one carrying the astral asteroid collector. Speaking of, here it comes. Now, key note here. Launching from a planetary surface, there's the science tech pack. Launching from a planetary surface costs the price of the rocket. So rocket fuel, light structure, and blue circuits. But launching from the station to the planet is free. If you have a designated cargo receiving facility downstairs, you can use that as a target to land stuff safely, or the planet's spawn point gets randomly peppered with approaching descent capsules, which can and will cause damage to anything directly below the point of impact. I actually almost killed myself once because I called some supplies from orbit and happened to be standing right underneath the rocket as it came down. So, instead of dying, I survived with only a little bit of health left, and I got the achievement of surviving more than 500 damage in a single impact, which apparently is its own thing because I had a really good energy shield fitted. So, yeah. My shield was completely demolished, by the way, as long with most of my health, but I survived the impact, so, yeah. Let's see, I've also already set this up here. This is going to be landing sites, going to be requesting down science packs from orbiting craft. So this is going to be feeding up into the research section. If we go into this, we have got access to space science. We need this to get our ship parts, like our engines and things, and then we can also use them to discover planets, and then we're off down the rabbit hole. For this though, space science, 15-second craft time, but 5 science per pack crafted. This is honestly hitting 2 science packs every second in space science is so ridiculously easy. My initial space science platform is massively overbuilt. And that's what I'm going to spend the last little bit of the runtime on this episode with. Because I mentioned this as well earlier, and this one I'm going to follow through on immediately. Between episodes I will get some ships ready in this save file, but for now, we're going to hop over to the testing game. The one where I spent 9 hours stuck on a storm planet, dodging lightning bolts. Welcome to what I dubbed the Lazy Barristers game. Yeah, this is, I called it that because this game I specifically set out to get the achievement Lady Bastard, which is launch a rocket without crafting above like 111 components by hand, or something like that. Or, well, probably maybe a bit less than that. Somewhere around there. And as you can see, this is Novice Base. It doesn't look too bad, but that's because this entire section here was a complete jumble, and towards the end of my playtime in this particular save, I deleted it and actually started to rebuild and restructure a little bit. So this entire section is actually organized, whereas before it was like it was making rubber ports in here, it was making my speed ports and things in here, it was making all of my light alloys and stuff. And in fact, the rocket launcher is completely unsupported right now because I hadn't reinstalled those systems, and it's like, you know what, I want to do this properly, get started kind of thing. But you can see it's like a bit of a tangle going on all around here. So yeah. Anyway, shows where I got to. Volcanoes and Fulgoria. I'm not going to go to them now. I'm going to save those for our actual playthrough for their first appearances. They'll appear as I get to them. But I am here to show you my first forays into spaceship science. Yeah. So, we started with the science station. So, massively, way too many cargo bays here. As you see, it's all backed up completely. It's just sitting around doing nothing for the most part because it makes way more science than I actually can process through. So, you know, it's doing that. Also, it has these odd little conveyor feeds and things that will completely jam up on these loops. Like, if you put too much stuff into a loop, it actually stops moving. So it's like it jams solid, and then that was jamming on the asteroids, and it's just like, you know. So this has had to take a few tweaks since I first made it. But it's just been sitting here gathering resources and then just basically throwing them back out into the space again, and that's all this thing has been doing, for the most part. Because it makes way more science than I actually obviously need. So yeah, moving right along. The Vessel of Myth, the vessel that was a nightmare, Pathfinder. Storied name for me personally, but yeah, you can see kind of like there are these long stretches in the hull, like holes and things. These were full hull. There's even one here with a grabber moving across a little gap here to get this entire section cored out. There was power systems in here. There was a bit of more fluid storage in here. This was part of the scramble for me to escape the other world. I literally just like I shed every spare pound I could, getting the ship as minimally functional, and then launching it. And then I actually decided to keep it drifting up here in orbit as a monument to my sins. Just like, you know, this is my first attempt, look at it and despair, because it's not very good. It's not very good. See, one of the big problems, as you can probably tell, it's not even got any defences around most of the sides, so that's why part of why it's getting so heavily battered. All of its forward guns, because I thought, ooh, it's going to fly through rocks when it gets to destination, it's going to be safe and sound. It wasn't. It suffered horribly. It suffered very, very horribly. But yeah. It has forward guns, but most of them were actually offline as well during all of that too, so it only had a couple of gun stations even left. So that's part of why it's struggling so very much. This thing was just at the whims of whatever rocks decided to drift its way, honestly. Not very proud of this one, but it definitely shows where I started, doesn't it? Yeah. It just sits in orbit collecting space dust now. The replacement, I built Pathfinder first, then I built the orbital science thing, because this one's like, ooh, science stuff. I want to get a little bit of orbital science, I'll research the things, and then it's like, I'll just poke around and do this. So orbital science technically came second in production order, even though it was founded first, but most of the construction happened after I'd put this thing together. And then, when I made it back from, I've been calling it Novice or other things, but for Fulgora, when I got back from Fulgora, I made the success of this ship, the Pathfinder 2. Notice reinforced walls all around it to increase durability. This is, by the way, over at Volcanus at the moment, because that's where my character is. Walls all around turrets. Happy Hafer's comment earlier in this episode said the ring system, getting a ring around the ship to move stuff around. I said I'd done something like that, and this is what you can see. Ammo is on the outer line here, loaded into it from the smelting and munition production spot, which is up here. So that's all doing its thing. And then the asteroid collectors, they are depositing on the interior line of it and going all around. So this thing, I did a lot more optimizations, honestly, in how it functions. Like, for example, I've got these splitters and mergers around here, which can help. This one is actually a merger pulling ammo, some deliveries from downstairs, come into here, get pulled off, and then fed onto the belt as well. So this can receive groundside resupply and ammunition. But certain types of ore are pulled from the outer ring where they can, priority dumped into the splitters, sorry, into the rock crushers, and then that is fed into the actual production sites that need them. In this case, this one is doing iron ore into all the iron smelteries, which goes into basic things, because it's like, at this point, I didn't know you can get more advanced refining on space stuff, because, you know, it's behind a planet I've not been to. But until I actually get that tech in the YouTube save, this is also going to be what we're doing. Like, they can supply itself with basic ammo. Okay, here comes some rock now. And then, if it finds it can't put any more rock into place, then it just gets chucked out the side. So it makes sure that the belt is kept clear. I could rig this up with logistics, like saying if there's above a certain amount on a section of belt, then trigger the dumping system. But it's like, yeah. Anyway, over here we've got ice, because this is where we want the water going. Water is going to the fuel system. And we've also got carbon coming through here as well. Carbon is also being fed through into the refineries down here. So carbon goes into the fuel mix. The iron ore is actually going to the oxidizer system. Then at the back here we've got a slightly denser system. This is Pathfinder 1 is actually the fastest ship I've made. Well, only a handful I've made. Pathfinder 2 is a bit slower because it's heavier and it's got less engines, but it's like a little better optimized, but it's still got a lot of like random plumbing. Of note, by the way, there is actually a fuel throttle system installed here, because this is my active vessel in this save effectively. This is something that I worked out after I came back. It wasn't an initial thing, but this is like when above a certain amount of consumption rate, you're basically just throwing fuel out of the back of these engines without actually getting benefit from it. So what this does is it throttles how often the fuel pump can be activated. As you can see there, it's flickering between disabled and working. So when this is in motion, it operates at a more efficient fuel amount, and so it preserves a lot of fuel that otherwise would just be flat out wasted. So this thing is massively more efficient. So this is my second craft. All basic tech, because, you know, don't have to rely on having higher tier rarity stuff just to make it. And it does okay. It can make it around the initial planets. There are 2 more ships, but I think I've only finished one of them. Did I actually finish that one? No, I only started on that one. Right. So the last ship, the most recent one, is this one, Cargo Ferry Prototype. This guy is an attempt to go bare bones, like as brute force economy as possible. So that this guy is as lean as possible, as cheap as possible. It's meant to be like a little thing that goes to and fro, hauling an amount of cargo. It's not particularly fast. I mean, it's only got 1 engine, as you can see here, though it also has that fuel throttling system installed to make it more efficient. It's got enough ammo, and then I was experimenting trying to cut down on how much solar power it has. Solar power, by the way, you need a lot of space for, which has a lot of mass, hence why nuclear power and other options are much better for spaceships in this game. But how many solar powers, how many or how few furnaces can get away with, how little ammo production can get away with, this guy's okay, but honestly it skips too much on ammunition production and things. And right now it's sitting around Fulgoria as well, so you can see what was hammering the first Pathfinder. All these big rocks just drifting around, and with nothing to really intercept them. It gets worse when you go travelling as well, but I'll show you that probably next episode actually. Where they would just drift in and then just delete an entire chunk of the ship, which I'd then have to rebuild, and that's why Pathfinder 1 was struggling so much. Anyway. Yeah, experimenting being economical, honestly, kind of a bad experiment. This ship, it skips too much, and so Pathfinder 2 actually carries a very good amount in terms of like ammunition production capability and furnace smelting. This has got a very good package as far as its production capability of ammo is concerned. So this one works fine. Very prototype, too dense, too compact. But that kind of shows you the 3 ships that I've built so far in this game. Pathfinder, as I mentioned, is a bit of a storied name nomenclature, like a name series for me. But I don't think I've ever really mentioned that in any of my videos. I mean, if you want me to tell you why, then just let me know, I'll say. But I'm curious if I've actually mentioned it before. Pathfinder, Wayfinder, it's usually one of those 2. But yeah, with that, and we return where we started, this monument to my failures, we'll end the episode there. This has been Iron Mark 3, thank you all very much for watching, hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, helps out me, helps out the channel, give me those virtual headbats I oh so crave. And I'll catch you all some other time. Next episode. If you guys say that I should do it, I will build a nuclear reactor! And probably not blow it up. But if I do, forgive me, it's my first time. But what we will do is we will set sail among the stars. Yes. The first of a new breed of ships. Or, well, technically, 3rd if you count alternate dimensions. Probably going to be have a Pathfinder 3 going out there, because I actually know what I want it to be able to do. Shocking, I know. But yes, I'll see you all some other time.